It's not just a 100% college route high school, which is one of the reasons why my husband and I specifically moved to the district we're in, because we wanted our son to have as many opportunities and then as many choices as possible, and not just say, you're going to this one school that does really well in tests and their statistics and grades look amazing, but these kids don't have any other option and they don't hear any other thing besides college, 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 college. And not everybody's made for college.
Hi everyone, I'm Lexie Callies. Do you feel the squeeze of caring for an elderly loved one and school-aged children? Then welcome to the Sandwich Stories. Let's dig in.
Hi everybody, it's Lexie Callies with Sandwich Stories. I hope you're having a really great week. I'm having a good week. And today I am going to put on my mom hat. So yesterday I went to a meeting at my son's school to talk about high school. So he is in the 8th grade. He is in a special advanced program. You had to test into it. And which is great. It helps him. Within the group, a lot of the children within his special group, there's about 60 of them 60 to 70 of them for 7th, or my son is no longer in 7th grade. He is an 8th grader. So you had to test in, you had to have an aptitude score of 140 or higher. And this can start as young as 1st grade all the way through high school. So he started in 4th grade and he's been in this program, and he, unlike a lot of the kids within his group are really STEM-based, math-based, science, engineering. They're really into that. And he is actually the gifted child on the other end who loves reading, writing. He is such an amazing artist. That boy can draw, and his specialty, and he loves the most, is pencil sketching. And that boy can draw hands. If you knew how hard it was to actually draw a lifelike, good-looking hand, that's his specialty. He loves it. He can do it. So they had a meeting yesterday saying, hey, guess what? High school starts. Let's start filling out your 4-year high school plan. I said, excuse me? He's in 8th grade. The first 9 weeks is just ending on Friday. Like, what? Why am I choosing the next 4.5 years of his life? That's crazy. So I went, and they had a special, they had one for the traditional children who were not in his advanced classes. And then they had one for the kids who are in his program in the advanced classes, because we actually have 2 classes in high school that are specifically so English and social studies specifically are for his program. And then math, science, those are just for everybody. But they have GT, advanced, AP, and GT, advanced AP. Yes. And then regular. They call it on level, on grade. So right now in my son's program, he will leave 8th grade with high school credit of Spanish, because he's in Spanish 1, biology, algebra 1, and he has a 4th. His business class. That is also a high school level class. So he will leave 8th grade with 4 high school credits. They do not feed into his GPA for high school, which is kind of a bummer because his Spanish class is 100 because he's been taking private Spanish classes for the last 4 years. That's a whole nother episode about Spanish. Anyway, so he will have 100 in that, but it will not factor into his high school GPA, which I understand, but I wish it were there. So I went, and I was shocked at how many classes there are and all the decisions you have to make. And are you going to take on level? Oh, and the GPA game. Good Lord, that is quite the game. So when I was in high school, everybody had a 4.0. That was the highest you could get. Now you could get up to a 5.0 because you take AP. And we did not have 1,000 AP options. We only had a couple, but if you took AP, whatever your grade was in that class, you added 10 points. So if you had a 90, you had 100. If you had a 99, you had 109. If you had an 80, it gave you an A. So that was super simple. Not anymore. In our school district, on grade is a 4.0 GPA. That's what you can get up, 4.0. If you are in GT as an option, that is a 5.0 scale. If you are in AP or GTAP, that is a 6.0 scale. Are you kidding me? 6.0? Like, what? And then on top of it, you could have all these things. Well, it turns out a lot of, you could end up leaving high school. I think they said right now that the top 10% of the kids at our school, so the top 50 kids roughly of the graduating class, I think the lowest GPA to be in the top 10% was a 5.4. So that was the lowest. The valedictorian and the salutatorian obviously higher than that. So yeah, it's crazy. I don't understand it. So I went to the meeting and this was it. So we have all these weighted, not weighted. Turns out colleges are now asking you to send in your unweighted GPA. So then why are you playing this huge game? What's happening is obviously people want to be in the top 10% of the class because in Texas, actually, I think they're about to change it to the top 8%. But in Texas, if you have the top 10% of your class, you got automatic admittance to any state school within in the state of Texas. And to get into UT is very, very hard. Or A&M or Tech or wherever else the program for you is going to be. And I always say this, there is always a program when it comes to college for everyone. It might not be the college you thought you were going to get into, the university you thought you were going to get into, but then it turns out that the one that you do get into is really the right fit for you. Because just because you wanted a name does not mean that name is best for you. And the name that does pick you is probably because they're the ones that want you. They see something in you that you offer that you want, and that is what they want. And so that tends to be the best choice. Not because Harvard is supposed to be the best, right? Or whatever program. Now, we can always have an episode about postgraduate and what that looks like, but that's a little different. So right now, as a mom, I'm starting to wonder about high school. Yay. So things my son has to take. He has to take 4 years of English. He has to take 4 years of history. He will be able to take 3 years of no, I think he's allowed to end at, he is. He's allowed to end at Algebra 2. So technically, he could be done with math after his sophomore year. So we will see if he does any more of the advanced math classes after his sophomore year. And then also with science, he has to do 3 years of science and then 2 of his choosing. And so there are some AP options I think he'll probably choose that are within the science realm, but that aren't going to be like physics. I kind of feel like this child will probably take algebra 2, or not algebra 2, no, biology 2, and probably take an AP version of that. And it boggled my mind. It makes my heart almost hurt for these kids. It really does. Like, you get first grading period into 8th grade, and you've already got to figure out what's the next 4 years of your life going to look like. because these next 4 years of your life could determine what college you go to. And then what college you go to and what degree you want to get into determines the rest of your life. And that is a lot to take on for 13-year-old children. Now, some of them know what they want to do, and they probably will do those things. And then there are some kids that just say, I don't know what I want to do. I'm 13. When I was a 13-year-old, I went and toured Texas A&M with my dad. And I thought 100% I was going to be a veterinarian. And Texas A&M has an amazing veterinarian school. Well, I got into high school biology. And I had to dissect a baby pig. And I said, nope, I'm out. It didn't bother me. I did really well in the class. It was fine. I could handle it. But Bio 2 got to dissect cats. And there was something about that wet fur that just made me want to vomit. And I said, nope, I'm out. Then I thought I wanted to be a pediatric pediatric surgeon who specialized in cardiology. I thought I was going to save babies' lives by operating on their teeny tiny hearts. I thought I was going to do that. Yet again, my brain does not work in the math and sciences the way a cardiologist's brain should work. So I didn't go that route. I did end up working with young children, and I love them deeply and fiercely. I am the biggest defender of children. I don't care if they're mine or not. Don't get in between. Don't mess with the kid in front of me. I will have a problem. So yeah, I thought I was going to do all those things. And I toured A&M with my dad. We went down there for the weekend. I thought I was going to do all those things, and I did not do any of those things. I had a really good time with my dad. That was a very special day, and I still think about it today. So, but I was 13. Even when I went to college, I thought I knew 100% what I was going to do. Changed my major 3 times. I had a college that did not require you to declare what you were going to do the day you walked in. A lot of colleges now require you to do that. So you are 17 years old, a senior in high school, and saying, I want to be X. And that is what I'm going to do. And I'm going to tell this college that that's what I want to be. And that's the department I'm going to get into. And this is what I'm stuck with. And God forbid you get into college and that is not what you want to do. And you've changed your mind. And it is now everything in your life has to change. Or you have to suck it up and deal with it. And then get into, hopefully there's something you can do when you graduate to pivot, that you could still use that information from college to pivot into another career or another job, into something you really want to do, instead of being miserable for your whole entire life. Life is long. You don't want to be miserable at 24. So this meeting and these choices is really, really tough. And and the options they have now for school, I do have to say, the options for classes now, you can do cybersecurity, drone classes, engineering and robotics, software development. Our school has a technical school attached to it, so you can possibly leave with a certificate in something. So medical assistant, EMT, pharmacy, hotel and restaurant management. There's a lot of different mechanics, and I think they still offer cosmetology. So our school does offer a lot of things. It's not just a 100% college route high school, which is one of the reasons why my husband and I specifically moved to the district we're in, because we wanted our son to have as many opportunities and then as many choices as possible, and not just say, you're going to this one school that does really well in tests and their statistics and grades look amazing, but these kids don't have any other option and they don't hear any other thing besides college, 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 college. And not everybody's made for college. I mean, if you talk to my son today, he said he'll probably go to college, go to business school, learn to run a business, make contacts, do all those things, but he also wants to be an underwater welder. And I 100%, and my husband and I 100% are backing him in that. If it's something that he really wants to do, we think it's really important to have a trade, to have a certificate, to have a job outside of the business world, because God forbid, we've all seen it happen before, a bubble will burst and he will be able to support his family and be useful in life. Now, it's dangerous. We know that. So, yes, I know it is a dangerous profession, but it is something that he says he really wants to do, and I will support him with that. And if he gets into it and decides that welding is what he wants to do, but underwater welding is not what he wants to do, I will support that also. So I think there's a lot of things out there in life. And this just really opened my eyes going to this meeting, looking at these potential classes that he's going to take and what will work for him and what will make him thrive in high school and be happy in high school is really important to me, but it is daunting. And when I have to say, when the question and answer portion of the evening opened up, every single parent, all they asked about was GPA. GPA this, GPA that. How does this work? How do we get this? What did the valedictorian get? They're already planning and the wheels are turning how to make sure that their children are within that top 10% because that is what they feel they need to have to get to whatever college that they feel that their child should go to, whether it's their alma mater or someone else's, or they like the name, or whatever it is. The wheels are already turning for these parents. I left it feeling this is exhausting. And I probably have a different mindset when it comes to these things. I want my 13-year-old to be a 13-year-old. I don't want him to be an adult right now. He doesn't need to be an adult right now. Kids now have too many things on their plates, right, as it is, and they are exposed to too many adult things that I know that my generation was not exposed to. And so if I can keep him a kid as long as possible, then I will. I want him to have goals. I want him to look to the future, but I don't need him to decide this very moment and worry about getting a 6.0 in high school. I don't need him to be valedictorian. My husband was valedictorian of his high school. He was very smart, but my husband also went to a high school that had 80 students in the graduating class. So that's a little different, and it was a different time. So this is where my mom hat is right now. This is where my mom brain is right now. And I got to work on this with my husband and my son and make the best decisions because I think they said by January, this form has to be filled out. January. The final draft is due at the beginning of May. Yay. They say you can make changes. I'll believe it when I see it. So this is where my mom brain is. It's a lot. I don't know if I could do it, even if it were for me. So many choices. I don't know. Take AP, not AP. How many AP classes are you willing to take? And then you got to pass the test to get the credit. And not every college is going to take all the credit that you might have gotten with your AP class. It might count as elective. It might count as a partial credit, whatever it is. So there's a lot. And AP tests cost money. And so I have a friend, her son is actually he's a senior. He is taking 6 AP classes right now. She tried to deter him from this. He said he really wanted to. He's a very smart boy. And he's doing it. He's taking 6 AP classes this year. It's a lot. Out of 8 classes. 8 classes, he's taking 6. College level classes. I know college students that don't even take 6 college classes in a semester. I don't. I mean, that's 18-hour credits if you think about it. And I know people who only take 12 college credits. So that's only 4 classes. or 5. And some colleges, depending on your grade point average or what your department is, taking AP might, or 18 hours in a semester might not be a great idea. And I know some that you have to get special compensation or dispensation to be able to take 21 classes, 21 hours, so 7 classes. So it's a lot for kids. And we'll get through this. We'll make the best choices for our son. He will help us. We will take his input and we'll make the best choices. And I'm hoping that he's not influenced by too many of his peers because their parents are different than us. And some of them I know are being pushed into things that maybe they do or do not want to do or to take the classes too early. So hopefully he will not feel like he's being left out if I say, maybe we don't take that class right now. When we take it sophomore or junior year, I understand there are freshmen who would take certain classes, take certain AP classes, but maybe we don't take 3 our freshman year. Maybe we do some other things and really figure out what we want to do in life and what will work for us as a family and for him in his future. So that is where I am. So wish me luck, and God help all of you who are going through the same thing that I am going through right now. So it's a lot. Okay, song of the week. I am super excited to say I saw these 2 artists live the other day. Baptiste came into Dallas and I had tickets and I got to be really close. I did not realize the venue was so small and intimate, so I was very excited. And he did a duet a while back with Andra Day. She is a singer, but she's also an actress. She actually got an Oscar nomination when she played Billie Holiday in the movie United States versus Billie Holiday. So she is an amazing singer, and they sang a song together. They did the duet called Lean on My Love. It was great in person. It's great recorded. I love this song so much. And actually, my friend who went with me looked at me and she said, that is your song of the week. So thank you, Emily, for helping me pick my song of the week and for being there with me. It was really special to spend that with a really good friend. And yeah, so Andra Day, Jean-Baptiste. If you don't know Jean-Baptiste, look him up. He's from Nolens, and he is a great artist. He is a true genius. He's amazing. Oh my gosh. We're lucky to have this man in our world right now because he brings joy. He brings light. He brings amazing music. And yeah, so like I said, Jean-Baptiste, Andra Day, Lean on My Love is the song of the week. Get out there, find some new music, and moms, you got this when it comes to your kids, okay? All right. I love you guys. Have a great week. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Sandwich Stories. I really hope you learned some new things and enjoyed it. If you did, tell a friend, tell your mom, tell your sister, tell your dad, tell everybody you know to also listen. Maybe they'll learn some new things, how to help each other out, and find us at Sandwich Stories Podcast. Thanks so much.